Hello, and welcome back to the shit show that is this YouTube channel. Episode 2, ignore the crickets that are casually chirping in the background. They're super convenient, and they make me feel very confident about this YouTube video. They're making it so boring. Anyway, we have reptiles, that's what the crickets are for. And I'm a little bit worried that they're, not in the cages. And they're just, out in the middle of my room. But that's okay. Because they're just, massive little grasshopper-looking things. Not terrifying at all. Which is weird, because when I was little, I used to love them. But, crickets are terrifying to me now. But that's okay. Because, they're crickets. So today, we're going to talk about, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about fairs and why people like them so much. I really don't get it because to me, fairs are really boring, but people seem to really like them. So, why is that? Well, I'm sure some people really like the rides, but when I went to the fair yesterday, it seemed to be, all about their friends. And they were all running around with their friends. Please, not the ads. They're all talking to their friends and hanging out. So at this point, fairs are just for teenagers to hang out with their friends and be weird and loud and annoying. Which is fair because, okay, it's fine. But I went to the fair. And I was there for 4 hours, didn't really do anything, walked around, was bored out of my mind. But, fairs aren't really my thing. They seem kind of dumb and pointless. But they have shops. And I was like, cool. So I was kind of walking around the shops, following my friend around because she was there having fun, go fairs. And she was like, I wanted to walk around and look at shops. So she went with me. And then she wanted to go and hang out by the rides and look for some of her other friends. And I was like, okay. And we did that. And then, so while we were doing that, there was a Build-A-Bear type thing in the very back of the fair. And, they should have been put in the front because they were not overly priced. In fact, they were probably underpriced. It was $20 per little bear, which probably sounds like a lot. But, if you've ever been to Build-A-Bear, it's a freaking good price. Especially, as far as fair prices go, it's pretty good. And, it was a pretty good price, and I got 2 stuffed animals, and I was super happy. I got a bat and a little dinosaur. And listen, I don't even like dinosaurs that much, and I was happy. And, so, yeah. But yeah, fairs are, they're fun. I can see why one would like them. I just personally, no. But, anyway. Let's see, what else is there to talk about? Well, dogs. Let's talk about dogs. Dogs don't have a lot of neurons. Cats have about twice as many neurons as dogs. And to me, that makes cats superior, but also not really, because, I got hit by a train. Not really, because dogs, they're not one is not better than the other, personally. For me, I like cats better because cats. But, objectively speaking, one is not better than the other. Cats technically have more brain cells than dogs do, and they have a more interactive personality. Dogs kind of just are there. But I know that's just me. Lots of people think cats have no personality. And they're wrong about that. But that's okay. I have no reason to fight anyone on that. But it's cats. They act like they don't care. But they put so much effort into pretending like they don't care that they obviously do care. But most people don't see that because most people just want something to love them and always do exactly what they want. And you're never going to have that with a cat. Like, you just won't. And that is obviously perfectly fine. And I love that about them. Like, they have their own opinions. They're like little people, but they have fur. I love it. But, some people just really don't. And, okay, the litter, I understand that the litter part of them is very gross. Like, my room, I have a litter box in my room. It's disgusting. It is. It really, I've got cat litter in the carpet of my room, and I hate it. I hate it a lot. But I love my cat. It's a sacrifice that I make for my kitten. Even though she's 2 years old, she's no longer a kitten. But she kind of is, because she's like a baby. Like, she's so little and sweet. I don't know. I'll post pictures of her at some point, because she's little. She has one eye because she has herpes. I feel like I talked about this in the other video too. I'm pretty sure. She has herpes. However, a cat gets herpes. I don't know. We should talk about that at some point. But she does. She has herpes, and she's a very sweet cat. And, well, to me she is. I mean, not to everyone. I'm very much like her favorite person. But even though I'm the one that takes care of her and takes her to the vet and makes her do things that she doesn't actually want to do. But, that's okay, because that's what moms are for. And I have to do those things. Otherwise, she won't be healthy. Ooh, I got hit by a train. And I need her to be healthy because she's my child. And I want her to be okay. And she had respiratory issues, and it flares up when she gets upset. So she came home with me. I was like, yay, a cat, hallelujah, And it was like, awesome, a cat, yes. And then it was like, okay. And we knew she had one eye, she'd had herpes, she's like kind of a rescue, but also I got her a Petco. God, I love Petco. Sorry, continue. What? Anyway, at Petco. We got her at Petco. And so how much of a rescue could she have been if she was from Petco? But she very much, was a rescue. Because, herpes, respiratory issues. But it flares up when she's stressed. So we took her out of Petco where, she was around loud people all day. And, people looking at her and trying to pet her and doing all this stuff. And I brought her home, and, her snot and eye boogers and whatever was kind of flared up. And that was fine. I love having boogers all over my wall. It's my favorite. And not actually. But it was manageable because she was my kitten. And so, but we took her to the vet because she was getting eye booger, and I was like, I don't know if that's okay or not. So my mom was like, okay, we'll just take her to the vet. And I was like, I don't know, should we just give her a couple days? My mom was like, no, we should just take her to the vet to make sure she's 100% okay. And I was like, okay. I mean, she cared about my cat, so, who was I to argue? So I take her to the vet, and my stepdad was originally just going to take her, but I went home from school earlier that day because I was sad. I think it was probably about my friend who had died. We'll talk about that later in a different video. We'll talk about grief. Hallelujah. Maybe that'll be the next one. Either way, yeah, it probably was that, actually, because that's why I got my cat, because I couldn't handle not having, some form of emotional support through that. But anyway, so we took her to the vet, and I was like, okay, we're at the vet. And so originally my stepdad was just going to go, but my stepdad didn't actually know anything that was going on, because I was the one that was, taking care of my cat, because she was in my room. That's where she was, living. And I was like, okay. And so my stepdad tried to do some of it, but he didn't, know, so he kept looking at me for answers. So I spent the whole time talking to the vet and answering questions, and then she went in and got tested for herpes and leukemia and, all that jazz. And she didn't have leukemia. I would have mentioned it if she did. But she did have herpes, obviously. I've mentioned it many times. But, so, it was, it was kind of a thing. And it was pretty funny, actually, finding out she had herpes. But my stepdad, he was like, herpes. The cat has herpes. And he texted that to my mom. It was all quite funny. But, yeah, I mean, it went good. Finding out about that was, yeah. But it was good that I was there, because if I wasn't, then probably nothing would have happened. He would stop. My stepdad would have just been like, I don't really know anything about what's going on. Whoopsies. So yeah, it was good that I came and volunteered to come, because, my cat. So, yeah, okay, moving on. I have been doing nothing all day today because my grandma went home, and there's no one here to entertain me because my stepsister left. So now I'm filming a YouTube video. And I was going to talk about anger, but I don't know how much I wanted to do that, so I'm going to talk about sapphic books. Okay? Because everyone needs sapphic books in their life. Well, not everyone, obviously, but my sapphic people that I love very much, they need some sapphic books in their life. And personally, my favorite is One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. I'm sure I said her name wrong because I do that every time. Anyway, that is my favorite book that I've ever read, and Girl in Pieces is a close second. Don't come for me. But yeah, okay, so sapphic. Girl in Pieces is very good. Delilah Green Doesn't Care. Astrid Parker Doesn't Fall. Those are also very good. Very funny. I love rom-coms, but then other sapphic books I haven't read, but I'm sure it's good, is Fear Street by R.L. Stine. I think he wrote Goosebumps too, so some of you guys probably know him. But that was a sapphic horror, and the movie is on Netflix, all three of them, and it is very good. I won't spoil it, but it is very good, and you guys should all watch it. Otherwise, what are you doing with your life? But, it's a little cringy, but it's good. In all honesty, it's good. Dina is very hot, in my humble opinion. And yeah, it's very good. The first movie isn't too gory. The second two are, but it's very much worth it. Let's see, there's got to be other, the Gilda stories, they're not explicitly sapphic, but the main character is, I think, it's like a vampire story, and it's so good, you have to read them. And then, other just good LGBTQ books, They Both Die at the End, the first to die at the end. I don't think it matters what order you read those in, because it's prequel and then just novel. But either way, do whatever you want with those. I don't care. But I really liked them. It was pretty good. Yeah. And then, there's lots of good sapphic books. They're hard to find, though. They're good, but some of them are hard. There's lots of them are good. I'll make an official video of my list of sapphic books that we should read. Let's talk about, I don't know. We should talk about dating. What's it like to date in middle school? For me, it's kind of inconvenient, and the only reason I do it is because when I'm older, it'll come in handy to have all those lessons learned from, the people that I dated when I was in middle school. So it's now I can kind of recognize unhealthy, manipulative behavior because of the dating that I did when I was, in 6th and 7th grade. And I'm going into 8th grade now, and I'm not sure what that's going to be like for me. But I'm hoping it'll be a good experience, because my last year of middle school, it has to be decent. Ow. It doesn't have to be, but hopefully it is. Hey, an ad. But yeah, dating is interesting. And then there's the Trevor Project. If you go to trevor.org, it'll come up, probably. I don't remember where I saw it, but it's just this great site where you can find lots of people that all different genders, sexualities, everything, but none of them are really straight or cis, which is awesome. There's not one person that's cis and straight. It's really a great place, and I really love it. And I've met some cool people on there. And it's obviously not sponsored, but I figured I could put that out there because It's cool. It's a little confusing at first, but as soon as you get used to it, it's pretty nice. And yeah, and you guys should also play Subway Surfers. Because it's fun. And, you guys can play it and be better than me and be like, ha, I'm better than that one YouTuber that has no subscribers. But you know what? At least you can still say it. Be like, haha, I'm better than a YouTuber. I am very bad at it. I'm getting better. I am getting better, but I'm pretty bad. I practice too, so I don't suck as much for you guys. But even that is quite hard. Because, how am I supposed to not suck? This game, as soon as I start going fast and I'm talking, I lose it and I can't focus. Hey, a train's coming. I should probably not get hit by that. Oop. That was almost quite bad. Yeah. I get a long car ride tomorrow. Do you guys... Okay, so, long car rides. Hear me out. They're nice because you can put your headphones on and you can listen to music. It's the only time I'll sit and listen to, new playlists. It's when I'm in the car because I don't have anything better to do anyway. So it's why not? And I don't know. Personally, I really like it. And there's no one, you can just kind of text people and do whatever while you're in the car, and it's woohoo! Low expectations. You don't have to talk to anyone if you don't want to. It's pretty great. I also just like being in the car, but also it gets kind of stressful because what if we crash and die? Because you're very close to death when you're in the car. It's just a fact. Don't hate me. It's just a fact. It's a scary fact, but it is in fact a fact. It is in fact a fact. Wow, I'm just doing tongue twisters today. Ugh. I hate that. I hate talking, but it's just the only thing that I know how to do for YouTube. So, sorry guys. Whew. Okay, I think we're reaching the end of this video as soon as I die here, and hopefully that happens shortly. Jesus. About religion, if I don't die anytime soon. I personally am atheist, I think, as in I don't really believe in anything. And I was at a birthday party one time, and all those girls there were religious except for me, and they were like, so are you religious? And I was like, oh God, because I knew they were just going to automatically be trying to convert me as soon as I realized that I wasn't. I was like, oh God, here we go. I'm different than these girls. They're going to hate me. And it was oh, now we're talking about religion, so I can't die. Hey, new high score, let's go. Now I have to, keep talking about this for a hot second here. And, and I was like, no, I don't really have a religion. And they were like, okay, so what do you... Wow, that was bad. Guys, pretend that didn't happen. They were like, okay, so what do you think happens when you're dead? And I was like, well, being the literal person I am, I was like, well, all the shit leaves your body because your muscles completely relax, and your hearing is the last thing to go, so you can hear everything going on around you, and eventually your brain kind of stops working after a few hours. And they were like, no, your soul. And at that point, I didn't realize this, but, reflecting upon that conversation, I was like, oh, no, I don't believe in souls. And, okay, listen, that sounds so bad, but I don't, because if you have a soul, it's just something that your brain comes up with for you, right? Your brain's just like, yeah, you have a soul. And it's like, okay, cool, I have a soul. That's pretty cool, but it's just the brain that believes that. The brain is your soul. And so I kind of believe in reincarceration, but if I believe in that, then I just believe that souls get reused. And it's you can't just have a new soul every time you die. You can't. And so I don't know. I believe it, but I don't. I'm 50-50 in a way, which is fine. I believe that's fine. But, people have their opinions, and I respect their opinions. I respect everyone's opinion on what happens when you kick the bucket. And, you know? Jeez. Okay. Yeah, so that's my take on religion. Thanks for being here. Goodbye.